Ding ding. Welcome. You're right on time for Delulu Hour. Hello everyone. Welcome to Delulu Hour. This is the newly revamped podcast coming from Cancelled. I know it's been a while since I've recorded an episode for the podcast. I've taken a long break for a bit, and I just had some time. I needed some time for myself. Okay, what I'm saying. Okay, so as the name entails, the Lulu Hour is the podcast where I yap for however long about life, pop culture, anime, and of course, K-pop. All with a hint of spice and a crap ton of delusion. My name is Kevin, and I am the host of the show. I'll occasionally have guests on for the podcast when I see fit. You can expect an episode every week. So please stay tuned by subscribing and leave the notification on my channel. Make sure you have your notifications on. Yes. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about anime moments that have rewired my brain. Oh my God. I'm like, if you could see my background, kind of, maybe you can, maybe you cannot, but like, I'm kind of a big freaking weeb. Episode 1. Yes. So before I start getting into the anime moments that have rewired my brain, I need to start talking about like what happened to me, what happened during this month. So in the month that I was away, I actually went to Vancouver. I went to Vancouver for 5 days with a bunch of uni friends that I made over the past year or two. And we were just like thinking, we had our 4 years of university just finish up. And what other better way to celebrate it than go on a vacation? Am I right? So we went to Vancouver. It was so fun and fresh. It was so different from like what I'm used to here in Toronto. Vancouver is just, I don't know how to describe it, but from where we were staying, I feel like it was like a modern version of like Markham here in Toronto. Like we stayed in like the Richmond area, and it was really nice there. I'm jealous of the people who live there. I mean, obviously I can't say for sure because I don't know what it's like actually living there. But just from being here, I'm like, let me go there. Can I move there? Another thing is that the week that we went to Vancouver is actually my 22nd birthday. So, oh my God, I could 22. God, I'm so lame. When we went to Vancouver, actually, like, it was my birthday week, and my freaking friends surprised me with a birthday cake, and I was so shook. I was like literally not expecting anything because usually for my birthday, like I don't really like celebrate it per se. So when like all of my friends got together so conveniently during my birthday, like we were in Vancouver, we were in our like Airbnb, and we were just like, let's celebrate by eating a freaking cake. And I was like, slay, thank you, but oh my God, I'm so thankful for them. I love them so much. Another thing is I needed some time off for myself because 4 years of university really do something to you. I had my first 2 years of university actually in COVID, so you can imagine how fun that is. And then the later half was in person, and just like my classmates and I agree on is like we think like to think like we could have been friends so much sooner, to think that we could have been on campus so much sooner, like, talking to new people, getting around the school more, and like getting into more opportunities. So yeah, we were a bit like regretful, but like we were also just like, I guess, bonded through COVID in a way. But yeah, enough about that. And also I needed some time off from like, the podcast because, Cancelled, I'm really proud of like what Cancelled has become, and I want to continue on that legacy. Still talking about K-pop here and there, but also just broadening out into other fascinations that I'm fascinated into. Like for example, like this episode we're talking about anime, but next episode we're actually gonna go back to talking about K-pop because K-pop has been in an entire shithole. Like, what is going on with Hive? What is going on with Adore, New Jeans, Outlet, and like the Seraphim and the Coachella performance? Like, oh my god, like so much is going on within just like Hive itself, but like even like as a whole, like K-pop is just it's in a weird, like, I would say, transitional phase right now. But we'll talk about that for next episode. But yes, so the Lulu Hour is still gonna follow the similar structure, like Cancelled. For this kind of episode in particular, like we're not doing a K-pop review per se. So, what you will see is that we don't have any like K-pop news. We won't have any like uh music review towards like the middle end of the podcast. Instead, like we're just gonna go run through our main topics, and also we'll have a burning question towards the end. So it's still similar to like the spicy question like last time, but this time it's gonna be a burning question. So without further ado, let's get into it. Also, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this podcast episode in particular. Like, I might have I am recording with camera right now, but I might not take it off depending on how I feel. Because, I don't, since I'm not on campus studios anymore. Like, the background and also like the audio might be a bit weirder. I'm not sure if you could tell. Like right now, I'm using my own microphone at home, my own microphone setup right now. If you could see what's going on down here, like it's a freaking mess. But just focus on up here. You don't have to worry about whatever is not on the frame of the camera. Yeah. Okay. So, how did I start watching anime? So I had a friend back in elementary school, primary school, whatever you call it. And she introduced me to like the very like first few anime that I actually watched. So she showed me Your Name, a classic movie. She showed me Yuri on Ice, ReZero, and Spirited Away. Like I remember those four in particular. And I'm shouting her out because like these were like actually really great starter animes that kind of like helped me get a feel of like what I wanted from anime. Because I think before getting into anime, I was super like, girl, what the hell is this weird weeb shit? But the first thing I actually watched was out of those four was Your Name, and that was actually in the Cineplex here, or the movie theater, and it was showing. I was like surprised, like I didn't think that they showed anime in like regular Western cinemas. So, but I mean, it was in dub. I kind of disappointed about that, but the dub was pretty good. The dub was pretty good, and I I don't remember if I cried when I watched it, but I definitely remember like thinking like, oh, like this animation is like really pretty. I love the color thing. I love how how the story went. The plot was really good, and like it got me interested into more because being a movie, like it's pretty short form, but also I love like the storytelling of it, and just in general like how anime is with its voice acting, and also it's, I guess, like it's different from like looking at your like regular cartoon. Like it's more, there's a there's usually for anime there's like a bigger meaning behind, and also it spans across like a shorter period of time, and it's also like like not like episode by episode basis. The only thing I could think that anime compares to like here as a Western cartoon is like Gravity Falls, because Gravity Falls is like 2 seasons, right? And then it follows a story. Like you have to watch it from start to finish to understand like what's going on. But another example is like, I don't know, like SpongeBob. That's it's like no matter what episode you watch, you get the context of what's going on, regardless of like even if you started from the beginning all the way up until the end, like you're still watching like the same story over and over again. But that's not the case for anime, where once an author writes manga, then like that's gonna go on until like the end of time. But like there's like new lore, there's story building, there's world building, there's character development, and like you need to be there from like the start all the way to the end. And I really like that about anime and manga, and just I guess it really does follow like the novel kind of structure. I'm like rambling on right now, but look at me yap, girl. um, and so let me stop yapping now. But basically, what I'm trying to say is like, your name. These four animes that she recommended to me was a great way for me to see how the story progresses in anime compared to like a Western cartoon. So there we go. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and these four animes were, a great starter for me because like now I'm like really into like these genres now. So like romance is like pretty standard, especially like rom-com if I'm into something like, kind of lighthearted fun. And then sci-fi from ReZero, thriller, psychological, comedy, sports, and then slice of life, and then my biggest guilt of all, BL. So. Okay, I'll get into more of that. I'll get into that more. Okay, so what really shook me to my core was Yuri on Ice and ReZero. So these two still one of my top two favorite animes today. I realized quickly how much I liked boy A and boy B together. And like at the time, I was still like questioning like my sexuality per se, and then it really like clicked when I watched Yuri on Ice, when I realized like, oh, like why my heart fluttering watching two guys fucking figure skating. And this is where the delulu comes in, because why am I catching feelings for some pixels? Why am I catching feelings for some 2D characters? But what I liked about it was like, even though Yuri on Ice was like, shamed on for being like, why is this so popular? Only like the Fujoshi girls, the Fudanshi people like this. Hey, like there's an audience for everything, and apparently I'm one of them. So I'm sorry, haters. But back off. Back off. Let me like what I want to like, okay? Unless it's something pedophilia. Okay, sorry. So continuing on, I think with ReZero and Yuri on Ice, like they really like changed something in me. And this is where I'm really like getting into the rewiring my brain, how it and this is the part where I'm explaining how anime has rewired my brain. Pretty much now, like my brain is filled with like brain rot of TikTok and anime clips. um, and yeah, yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what much more to say about that, but that's how I feel right now. Nowadays, like I'm more like on and off for anime. I'm more into like games like Honkai Star Rail and like Wuthering Waves that just came out. I'm like more into like that kind of character right now, but I'm still into anime and everything. But like more into like actually just reading BL. I really hate to admit that, but like I really do spend most of my time reading BL. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So, in no particular order, I'm just gonna like talk about some animes and maybe like some anime scenes in particular that like has really like, I guess, made me fall in love with anime more and more. So first one being is Banana Fish. Needless to say, this anime literally ruined me. This I never thought like a story can like portray how much like I felt on the inside so much at the time. Like, cause Banana Fish, if you guys haven't watched it, and kind of spoiler, I guess. Um, it follows two guys, right? And like they're not like actually like portrayed as like lovers per se in the anime, but it's more like they became like such good partners. Not like partners as in like they're dating, but like partners as in like soulmates. But not soulmates as their relation. But you get what I'm trying to say. It's like it kind of like reflected how I see like romance for me. Cause for me, like what I'm looking for in a partner is like a partner, like someone I could do things with, someone I can like confide in, someone I can find comfort in. And like I wish like that person could do the same for me. So, and when I look at those two characters, Edgy and Ash, like I like to see how well like they click together and how well like they connect. And like I envy that so much in like my own life because like I want that for me. Like I want to find someone who like I one look at them and you know like what's going on, like someone who can read my mind almost. I know that's like kind of impossible, but like we'll get into that more because like we want to explain why like I'm delulu here. And then next scene, this is not necessarily like delulu or anything, but this is just me like thirsting. Okay, so in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, there was a scene where Roy Mustang like burns one of the, I don't know, it was like some seductive lady looking thing, right? And it was a point where he used his like blood to draw like the alchemy curse thing, and like he used it to like create fire, right? And like that scene like still lives in my head today, like just him like snapping and like throwing fire at this lady who's just trying to kill someone else, and she's just like just snapping, and it's like, oh my god, like one, like he's so hot because like his shirt was oh okay, so moving on. And then another one was like, oh wow, the tone's gonna shift so hard. Another one is Silent Voice. Silent Voice was also one of those other animes where I realized like, wow, like you really have so much weight in your words. So like why use your words to like spew some bullshit kind of deal, right? Like why bully people? Why say mean things about other people? Or why like the world is not like black and white, right? Like that anime made me learn some very important lessons. Another one was like Violet Evergarden, like same idea, right? Because Violet was she like also, but more on like the romance side. Is just like she had like an idea of like who she wanted to be with, and like that's so cute and sweet. Oh my god, I love it so much. Oh my god, I looked at the time real quick, and I just realized I'm just like already yapped for 20 minutes. What the? Okay, sorry, I'm moving on. And then going back on ReZero, like I love the fights in ReZero so much. Like they're so action packed, and like you action in action is just like one thing, right? But then it's like another thing to be like you're rooting for the characters. And like that's why I love ReZero, because every character in ReZero gets some point of some sort of like character building, right? Like for example, Otto, like who the fuck who the hell thought he was gonna get like some like amazing like supporting character art, but like he did, right? And like it was so cute and like sweet, but like I love that so much when like the world is like like sorry, let me rephrase. Like it's not like the character, like the main character, like doing everything for everyone, but it's like the main character, Subaru, is like connecting to everyone and coming together to like overcome something together. I don't know how many times I've said together in that sentence, but like together, okay, togetherness. And okay, continuing on. And then another one of my favorites is Kakiguri. Kakiguri is one of my favorite animes because I love gambling. Gambling is so fun. I get the thrill that Yumiko and like Mary and like everyone else feels. And like I love the idea of like throwing your life on the line to win, you know? And then yeah, like JJK Black Flashes is so cool. Megami and his half-ass domain was so cool as well. Oh my god. When now that I'm talking about these clips and like these moments in anime, like I realize how much like these fight scenes and also these how like the character's voice act and like the music and everything in the background kind of like makes me think like my own life in a way where like as a child I wanted to like be super like a superhero almost. Even now, like I feel like sometimes I want to be a superhero, but um it's not so like what you do with your powers or like what powers you have. It's more like what you do with what you already got, you know? Um and I love that. That's why I like ReZero in particular so much because ReZero Subaru starts from like pretty much nothing, right? He thinks he's the shit, but then he realizes he's not the shit, and then he accepts that he's not the shit. And then he grows bigger, like stronger by like, you know, being humble and also by being like super helpful to other people to realize that they're also not the shit and like they need each other. um, yeah, that's enough yapping for me right now. Okay, but now we're gonna address the daddy issues and talk about my obsession for 2D characters. So, right off the bat, Gojo Satoru, Megami, Edgy from Banana Fish, Dan Hung from Honkai Star Rail. Let's go. You already know. This is why I'm gonna be single forever. Let's go. Anime, weebs, rise. Let's go. Um, I realized watching anime, like it helped me develop a type, but I don't think that's gonna be like a healthy type because 2D people are 2D people, and like 3D people are 3D people. So like we're gonna get into some complications there, right? Um, but I realized like I'm into like total nerds with like I guess the best way to describe is like nerd on the outside, but nerd on the outside, but absolute hunk and like green flag everywhere on the inside. If they have glasses, that's a bonus. Yeah, because like nerds have like this certain like I guess body type where it's like it's not like so muscular, but like also like not um like overweight, like they have this like very good in between of like lean, not too fat, not too skinny, uh a little bit muscular type, and like ooh, that ooh. But also in anime, like, men are made to be like more or less so like perfect. Appearance wise, personality, that's a whole different issue. And speaking of personality, like my favorite personality type for 2D guys is like yandere, I guess. I don't know, like, cause you describe yandere like for girls when like, they're super shy at first, but then like they become like they blossom into like these like really fun characters later once like they're in their comfort zone. And like I guess that's kind of what I like as well in a guy. Um for like 2D people in particular. That's why I mentioned, like Megami. Megami is like a great example of that where he's super quiet on the outside, but once he's with the Itadori and Nobara, like he's super fun around. But I mentioned like Gojo Satoru too in there because like when I say I'm into nerds, it's like not like the boring nerds, but like the nerds who like know how to socialize. And like they're like cool and all, like, and like they're like really book smart, but like they also know like how to talk to people, and like also like kind of like has like a switch, like they go from like their introverted side to like their extroverted side like real quick, and like I love that. I love that. Give me that. So story time actually. There was a time when I actually like low key, high key, like kind of like be simping for some characters a bit too hard. Like after I watched Banana Fish, like I was really big sim for Edgy, and like that caused me some real delulu problems. I'll say that for much. Like I was like printing out pictures of him. I was drawing him. I was um got him tattooed on my body. And yeah, that was a wild phase. Yeah, I really yeah yeah okay. Uh, so I got my first tattoo because of Banana Fish. Let me put that on the record right now. But another thing I need to say is that spoilers ahead. I watched the second season of JJK not too long ago, and I never really understood why people like Gojo that much, uh, until I got to like Shibuya arc of the story, and he really showed like a new like vulnerable side to him that like I never noticed until then. Like I did watch like the JJK movie, and I understood why like him and Geto were like super close friends. But then seeing him like get so weak in a point of like utter like craziness, like he was like killing transfused uh people like left and right, and he was like big braining the entire situation. And then at this thought, like even like hearing Geto's voice, like that made him like vulnerable in that in that certain state. And that like ouch. Like everyone has their moments of vulnerability, right? But for Gojo, like this is like this is even bigger spoilers, right? Like, but everyone hints to him like, he's the strongest, right? He's his only purpose is to like kill high grade sorcerers, sorry, high grade curses, and like teach students and like, have the next generation up and running, right? But then like no one really thought of him as like, I guess more than that, right? And the only person who thought of him like who was on the same level of him, the same level as him, to be able to like not think like that was Ghetto, right? And like that's why like they had a good bond together. And like I I sat on this thought for like a night or two, and I was like, oh my god, that is so sad. um, but it also goes in line with like what I was saying earlier about like when I watch BL and like and Banana Fish in particular, like when I saw them like have like this special connection of like they're not necessarily like romantic lovers per se, but like soulmates and like good partners. Like I had that same feeling again, where I was envying that, and it was just it was very interesting. Yeah, like anime like helped me learn so much about myself, especially like all the delulu parts of me, and also like the results of like the childhood trauma. Oh, okay, but we're gonna go back. We're gonna unyap for a bit. So we're reaching the end of the podcast now, and as I was saying earlier, we have some spicy questions. We have some burning questions. So I gathered a few things here, and my first question for myself and like for you guys to answer in the comments if you want is: are 2D relationships healthier than parasocial relationships? I don't know. When I say 2D relationships, I mean like you have a special bond with them that you feel like you love a character like so much, like you're obsessed with them. Um, and in my opinion, answering that question for myself. So, in my opinion, I think 2D relationships are in a way like quote unquote healthier. Not saying it's any better, but I will say like I feel like 2D relationships help people understand themselves more than like rather than understanding like how to talk to other people. And I say that because like just from what I was talking about, or should I say yapping about like for the past 30 minutes, is that throughout watching anime, for me personally, I feel like I learned a lot about myself through like the characters that I like, taking Edgy, for example, from Banana Fish. Like I learned from him that like in order to be like, I guess, a good partner is like always have like an open ear for them, and also like see signs and like be like really receptive of like how other people are feeling. And I feel like from that, like I feel like I learned how to like, I guess, read the room better, That's what I've learned from him. Another example is like let me see, from Gojo, right? Like I realized like, oh, everyone is on different levels in life. And sometimes it's easy to call people who are like above you, like, wow, like you're so great, you're so cool. But, maybe like that's exhausting for them to hear that, right? To think like we're basically putting them like on a pedestal, right? And like, there's like, at life, there's different stages for everyone. So like, like why do we have to like put them why do we have to put someone above us? Why do we have to put people below us? Like we should just see each other as equals like every once in a while, or like even like as always, right? Um and like back to the question, like I'm just trying to say like if you're using the 2D relationship more or less say to like feel like you love to like feel like to feel love, right? Then I think that's where the problem arises. Same with like parasocial relationships, because um like it's love is only love when it's reciprocated, right? So like a 2D character can't give love back to me, right? Like a celebrity that I don't know can't give love back to me, right? But there's that delusion there for like some people where they think like, oh, because I support this character, then like this is for parasocial relationships in particular, right? where, oh, like if I love my K-pop idol so much, then like maybe they'll eventually notice me, like they'll notice my comments, they'll notice me like defending you from haters and like stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like you're just you're just seeking for attention or validation, and you know, going to someone you idolize and like someone who doesn't even know you is like, not the best approach. um that's why I say, like, for 2D, like even for me, like 2D relationships, like, it is unhealthy to an extent where, like, once it gets to the point where I start thinking about these characters as if they're my own friends, then like that's when it gets to a problem. And like I've had caught myself like getting to those points where I think like, oh, like I have a personal connection with this with this 2D character. um, like the biggest ones like was like Ash and Edgy from Banana Fish. Sometimes I find myself thinking I'm the 2D character in the BL that I read. Or even thinking like if I was in this situation, then like I would do it things completely different, And like once you like put yourself in like the shoes of a 2D character, that's when like it really starts being weird. Like you start imagining like that you're in their life, like in that world, and like that gets like super toxic real quick. And I love exploring that world in my head. That those thoughts are for like the delulu hour, right? Thank you, y'all. So like if you're at the start, tell me the character that caused you the most delulu. Okay. Another thing is I found it like weird. Like going on the parasocial relationship thing, like I find it weird how people can fall in love with celebrities. Um like I know this is like really prevalent with kids in particular. Like so let me give you a story time then. For me, growing up, my celebrity crush was like Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber, Shawn Mendes. I'm not like I didn't have like any female celebrity crushes per se. It's more like I just enjoyed like what they were doing. But it was only like for males in particular because I am a homosexual that like, made me fantasize being with these male celebrities, right? So I was like, oh my god, like what is Justin Bieber doing? Like, oh my god, why is he with Selena Gomez? Or like why is he like keep switching over? And like Shawn Mendes as well. It was like, oh my god, like he's with Camila. Oh my god, he's not with Camila. Oh my god, they were saying Havana together. Oh my god, what's going on? And that was a kind of a delulu moment in my life, especially for Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was like, oh my god, he really like was the bad boy era for me. That's like that's the bad. Just that'll go. But like now I'm into like 2D bad boys, and like I don't think that's any better. But at least it's a 2D relationship. Like I rather simple for pixels than someone who doesn't know me. So it is what it is. Uh, and then I note here, going back into the K-pop thing, right? Like there was a recent BBC article or like documentary of like the Burning Sun situation, and like I still saw people like care about like the people involved in that situation. Like in particular, like Sungri from Big Bang, right? Like he still does. He's not in jail anymore. His sentence was like really short, right? And like people still support him despite him doing those things to those girls, and it it's crazy because like your idol and like your celebrity that you're crushing on, right? Like they might not have the same belief as you. You don't know what their life is. They like you think you know them, but you don't know shit about them, right? And it's crazy. It is crazy. That's why, like, that's why I'm saying, like, I asked this question: was 2D relationships better than parasocial relationships, right? And like, I'm like, I pick the 2D relationship person any day. Like, at least they're not harming anyone in the process. They're only harming themselves, right? But like for parasocial relationships, like they're harming themselves, but like also like to the celebrity, right? And also like their other fans, right? Because their fans, the real fans, or I guess they're more casual fans, or like the fans who are not delusional, like they're gonna think like, what the hell is this guy on? And then the celebrity is, what the hell is that guy on? And it's just like causes like a toxic cycle, and like it's not pretty. And it's even more harming to yourself if you like someone who's a celebrity, because then you start doing some weird stuff like stalking, putting pictures of them on your wall, or like keeping a photo album of them. It's just weird. And I think it goes back onto like the idea of like love. Like when I say I love this character, then like what do you mean love? Because like I said earlier, love is both way. It has to go both ways, right? For it to work. And you could love a character as like, as they are, but like some people use the love very dangerously. um yes. Cuz love in a 2D and like parasocial situation often means like you don't really like love this person cuz you can't love them, they can't love you back. You're just it's more like you're being possessive over them and you're being like super obsessed. And there's a reason behind that, and therapy is available, girlies. Get therapy with me. um yeah, yeah. I'm guilty of that too. I need therapy as well. I've had moments where I've been so obsessed with some characters that I'm just like, yeah, I definitely have some problems. So I yapped quite a bit. I think that was a good first episode of yapping. Um, yeah. Let me know what you guys think of this new delulu hour, because not talking about K-pop is a bit weird, I would say. So that concludes our first episode of delulu hour. Let me know what you guys think about the reformat. I know some of y'all missed me talking about K-pop, but don't worry. Like I said earlier, we're gonna be unpacking the whole situation from Hype versus Adore, New Jeans, Le Sserafim, Alit, crazy shit. I'm already excited. I'm already super excited to talk about that because, oh my god, the tea is so fire. Next episode is gonna be fire. And since we're talking about K-pop, I do have one fan in particular who's been dying to come on, so we might have an interesting guest for next week. So yeah, in the meantime, please anticipate that coming, and I'll see you guys next week, or maybe later because I love to procrastinate. Okay, bye.